All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Nate Barrett from Smoker Craft, and today we have a very special guest on our podcast. We have Mr. Rudy Yakym, who is Indiana's 2nd District Congressman and also sits on the Ways and Means Committee. Rudy, welcome. Do you want to give us a brief little intro about who you are and kind of what you do?
Sure. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on today. It's the honor of my lifetime to represent Indiana's 2nd District in the U.S. House of Representatives. This district is, according to the American Manufacturers Association, it's the most intense district in the entire country for manufacturing. It's the RV capital of the world. We make a lot of manufactured housing, the orthopedic capital of the world with hips and joints and knees and things like that. And then, of course, boating. A lot of boating interest here in the district, whether it is Smoker Craft, who's just an incredible local multi-generational company, or many other boat companies, and even the suppliers that are here in this district. It's the honor of my lifetime to represent this district in the House of Representatives, fight every day for manufacturing interest. And so it's just incredible to do that. But also on background, married to the love of my life, Sally Ann, for 19 years. We have 3 children. Elle, she is 16 years old. She's a junior. And then we have our freshman son, Rudy the 4th. And then our daughter, Eliza, who's in 5th grade. She's 10 years old. So family guy, small business background, but then just serve on the, as you said, on the House Ways and Means Committee in the U.S. Congress. That's
fantastic. And again, we appreciate everything you've done for us and everything you've done for manufacturing in the district and everything. And also, we do want to highlight and thank you for being the co-chair of the Boating Caucus. Did I got that correct?
Yeah, it's a bipartisan caucus in the House of Representatives where we work on issues relating to boating. And so we listen to the boating industry, to manufacturers. Even folks like Peter Barrett actually will oftentimes either call me or come to Washington, D.C., talk to me about the issues that are important to boating manufacturers, issues that are important to your dealers, issues that are important to your users. And we make sure that we, on a bipartisan basis, fight for those issues in the House of Representatives.
And can you talk a little bit more about that? What does that look like in terms of when you guys, when you go to D.C. and you're on the caucus? Like, what are those what type of conversations are coming up? Like, can you tell me a little bit more about that?
You know, for us, it's a couple of things. Number one, it's listening to the industry and then figuring out what is it that the industry needs from us. Sometimes it could be something simple like a letter to the administration. You know, particularly during the Biden administration, we saw a heavy-handed regulatory environment where you look at things like the rule that they wanted to put in place off the East Coast and put speed limits in place that would have destroyed the boating industry. So we would be sending letters to the administration, making sure that they fully understand the consequences to boating manufacturers. Yeah. It might be something from a legislative perspective, maybe an additional bill that needs to go through the House or an amendment to a bill or something that you want to make sure that if we're doing our one big beautiful bill, there are certain provisions in there that would allow you guys to build and expand your manufacturing operation. So all of those things, we just simply hear the feedback from the industry, and then we work together amongst our teams in our office, plus my colleagues, to make sure that we're advancing the interests that represent you guys.
Absolutely. And, you know, once again, thank you very much for your efforts in that. It has gone noted, and things like you said, like the speed limit, you know, we're trying to fight for things like that where we can all boat safely, but also realistically in waters. And so thank you very much. And one point that I kind of wanted to cover that you mentioned was about the big, beautiful bill. Now, I guess the first part to that question is, what was it like, I guess, helping construct or being a part of the big, beautiful bill? Because that was a very, very big deal. And the second part is about how we've been able to use it. So if you wouldn't mind, you know, maybe touching a little bit on that.
Sure. Well, I'll take you back to the beginning of the whole process. Back in October of last year, Speaker Johnson invited me out for dinner with a small group of members, and he said, Rudy, I think we're going to have the House, the Senate, and Donald Trump's going to be elected president. That's going to give us the opportunity to go through what we call budget reconciliation. And so he invited me into his office after that dinner, and I spent about 15 hours in his office going through with all of my colleagues the entire strategy of what we would do. Are we going to do one bill or 2 bills, big bills, small bills? And we really thought at the end that we should do what we called our one big beautiful bill, now our working families tax cut, because we believe that it was the opportunity to deliver all of President Trump's priorities in one bill, but also really focus on making sure that our manufacturers have the opportunity to be successful, that working families have the opportunity to get a tax cut, to be able to go to work, to keep more of what they earn when they're working in a factory like yours. And so on the House Ways and Means Committee, we actually had about 80% of the total dollar value of that big bill.
Wow.
And we spent about 90 hours together going through 130 individual tax provisions. The chairman of Ways and Means, along with our speaker, allowed each individual member to weigh in on the development of the bill to make sure that the committee knew the issues that were important to our individual districts. For me, being so heavy in the manufacturing space with companies like Smokercraft, we made sure that we weighed in heavily on issues affecting manufacturers, whether it's the manufacturer themselves or the individual workers. I'll give you an example. We did things like restored the full accelerated depreciation of CapEx, so that when you're installing equipment in your facility, you can fully depreciate that equipment in year one. We put in a Made in America provision where if you are building a new factory in this country today, you can depreciate the entire factory in year one instead of over 39 years. We restored the full depreciation, full expensing of R&D, so that as you guys are doing research and development on new boats, you can fully expense that in year one. But we also made sure that we took care of the workers as well. So for your workers who are showing up to work every day, making overtime, for example, we put in no tax on overtime. We took the child tax credit, we elevated it to the $2,500 level for the next 4 years. And then we made it permanent at $2,000 instead of going back to the $1,000 level. We put, of course, no tax on tips and a number of other provisions for individual workers and small businesses, small manufacturers like yourselves, to make sure that you guys can just do what you do with the federal government staying out of the way.
Absolutely. And we love everything you've done with that. So thank you once more. And from our perspective too, like how you had mentioned with that depreciation, for us, we just got brand new press machines, and we're to immediately be able to write off that has been huge, and we wouldn't have been able to get that otherwise. And then with R&D as well, when we initially set up our robots, our robotic welding units, having the state be able to help train and allow for our workers to be able to be trained in this and help set up just the robotics itself has been something that's been huge. So thank you once again for your help with that, because it truly goes a long way with even a small boat manufacturer like us. And I'm sure the district, other leaders in manufacturing too can thank you for, again, no tax on tips and helping with no tax on overtime as well. So once again, thank you. And we can really see the impact. It's something that's cool that you kind of hear about on the news, and now being able to see it in real life and how it all comes together for me has been really fantastic.
Well, thanks for that. But what really mattered in all of this is the feedback that we got from whether it's individual workers or businesses like Smokercraft. I mean, you guys stay in such close contact with me or my team, and then my team in Washington, D.C. and the district here, they would take all the feedback that we've gotten, what everyone wanted, they would put it in a 3-ring binder, so that when I went into those discussions, I could open up my 3-ring binder. I knew exactly where the district was at. I knew exactly what the priorities were. So we made sure that we delivered for this district. So it doesn't happen without people like you, people like Peter Barrett and your workers weighing in, and then my team making sure that they take all that feedback, bundle it up, so I'm very well equipped when I walk into the room to negotiate with my colleagues.
Well, that's awesome. And that really does mean a lot. And that's kind of just how we get things done too, is asking down on the granular level, what can we improve upon, what can we do. So once again, thank you for everything that you've done. So things with Canada have been a little bit
little dicey.
So temperatures have gotten a little heated with some trade partners. So for instance, Canada. What is going on? Is there anything going on in DC that might help kind of bring the temperature down, or kind of help ease what's been going on with trade recently? Is there anything from your perspective?
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to meet with some of my Canadian counterparts, and one of the things that we've certainly encouraged them to do is to negotiate the next trade deal. USMCA is of course up for renewal next year with the United States, and we've encouraged them to come to the table, calmly, rationally, logically, and negotiate the things that we need done to see that we have a normal and smooth relationship with Canada. They're a critical trading partner to the United States. We import a lot of things from Canada. We also export a lot of things from Indiana's 2nd District that are made right here, manufactured right here into Canada, whether it's boats or RVs or medical devices or other things that are exported up to Canada. We want to make sure that we have a rock-solid trading relationship, but also a fair trading relationship, a level playing field with Canada. We want to make sure that they're not putting any types of restrictions on our imports from the United States or our exports from here, imports to Canada. So we'd like to see trade deals negotiated and negotiated quickly, whether it's Canada or anywhere else around the world. We want a fair and level playing field for the United States.
Certainly, and we can't agree enough with that. And we appreciate everyone's bipartisan effort to help make that happen. And so, thank you very much for helping us with that Canadian aspect, because for us that's a huge section of business. And I think one thing that's very cool that we've tried to do is, if you may or may not know, we recently came out with our reissue of the 57 Ski Champ. So it's an old retro boat that we've refitted to kind of fit the modern world, as you might say. But we have the US edition, and then we have the Canadian edition. And I think that it's really cool to kind of see that come together and have two different offerings, but under the same branch of StarCraft that's been around for over 120 years. And being a 5th generation member of that, it's been very, very cool to see that kind of come to fruition. So again, we're extremely lucky to have them as a partner. We've had dealers with them for, decades and decades. So for us, it's something very special, and we appreciate your guys' care and commitment to making sure that we can maintain that relationship regardless of what legislature is and what goes on, and so thank you again for that. And now I guess shifting to getting a little more personal, how do you and your family boat? Do you guys boat at all, or what does that look like?
Well, we do enjoy boating for our family. One of the things that our kids love is jumping off of a boat. It's like it's their thing. They'd rather jump off the back of a boat than ride on it, I think. And so we've spent even a little bit of time over the summer, had a few days that we were able to get out on a boat and just enjoy some time on the water. And of course we love to fish as well. I mean, we had, even last year for Mother's Day, took my whole family, wife and kids, out on Lake Michigan, and went salmon fishing and just really enjoyed a great time there. So whether it's fishing or swimming or just kind of cruising around, we are a boating family. We really enjoy our time on the water.
That's so great to hear. And we obviously as a boat manufacturer love to hear about anyone out on the water, but it's very cool watching our lawmakers also be able to enjoy fishing, whether it's jumping off the boat or just being together as a family. I think that there's something to be said about being on a boat together with your family.
Absolutely. And when last time we were on the water here about a month or so ago, even texted Peter a photo from the water wearing my favorite shirt, a StarCraft shirt.
I saw that. We were very happy to see that. Absolutely.
It was fun.
It's great to see, the enthusiasm on all levels of boating. So again, we really appreciate that. And now kind of diving into a different segment, I guess. I happened to see a photo of you during the inauguration. I mean, you are a Notre Dame fan. You graduated from Notre Dame, if I'm not mistaken,
my
right?
executive MBA there. That is true.
Yep. And so I believe I saw you with the jersey. Can you explain maybe for the audience who doesn't know?
Of course. Well, the Notre Dame National Championship was on January 20th of earlier this year. And that was the day of President Trump's inauguration. And so there are 6 of us Notre Dame graduates who serve in the House of Representatives. Wow. And so we were all 6 of us were, of course, at the inauguration at noon on January 20th. But then also, just did a quick flight down to Atlanta that night, and was able to be there with my wife for the national championship. So, had a jersey on underneath. Kind of like a little Superman.
You have to, absolutely.
Make a quick change, right?
Yeah.
So all I had to do was just take the suit off and pull the dress shirt on, and you got the jersey on, ready to go to the game. So
that's fantastic.
You got to have some fun with it while we're in the house. But it was incredible to be there to watch President Trump take the oath of office and be sworn in, and to see, of course, all the dignitaries that were there, and then to then also that night be able to watch Notre Dame. Didn't get the outcome we were looking for.
No.
Yeah, as we sometimes say in Notre Dame land, there's always next year, right? Yeah. So we're 1-2, but we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. No, it's for those who don't know, we're very close to Notre Dame here. A lot of Notre Dame fans, so it is cool to have a sense of community, especially when you have people representing you in office. But yeah, we'll hopefully get them in this year. We'll see. Is there anything else that you want to mention or hit on before we start kind of closing up here?
Yeah, absolutely. More than anything, what I really want to do is take the opportunity to say thank you to the employees of Smokercraft. One of the things that I've had the opportunity to do in this job is to tour through your factory floor with Peter Barrett and some of your other leaders, and to see the incredible pride that you all take when you're working on the shop floor, when you're manufacturing a boat that that someone is going to have a chance to go out and have fun with. For me, it just brings me so much joy to see the pride that you all take in the product that you manufacture. And I brag about you guys. As I travel around the country or I go to Washington, D.C., I talk about the Smokercrafts of Indiana's 2nd District, and just how great it is to know that there are your boats that are all over the country, all over the world. So keep doing what you're doing. If you ever have any issues, feel free to reach out to me or my office. We maintain relationships with every single federal agency. So if you've got an issue with Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, you're trying to take your family on vacation, you need a passport, let me know. You might be a veteran having an issue with the VA. Reach out to me in my office. We'll get it solved for you. Maybe you're a veteran who served in war and you didn't get the medals that you earned while serving in war. Let us know. Reach out to us. Or as any of the Barretts will tell you, if you come to Washington, D.C., reach out to me in my office. I love hosting people in my office, giving tours of the Capitol building, showing you around your Capitol is one of really one of the cool parts of my job. I call it hosting Hoosiers in Washington. So feel free to reach out anytime you need anything with any federal agency.
And just like you heard there, I mean, Rudy is an exemplary example of a man for the people. And, we can see that on all levels here. So, thank you again. I can't say it enough for being such a great civil servant for all of us and being a voice for us in Washington, and especially for the overall boating community too. Smokercraft is one piece of that. And again, our employees appreciate everything that you've done for us. Our dealers appreciate everything you've done for us. We do, our families do. So once again, we cannot thank you enough for all the hard work that you do to keep our mouths fed and to really help us give a voice in Washington.
You bet. Well, you can always count on us to fight for the boating community, whether it's your manufacturers, your dealers, or your users. Just know that you've always got a friend in this office.
Oh, well, we really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
You bet. Thanks for having me on today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.